Hey Rad World, welcome back to another episode of Review. Today we're talking about the Netflix original film Bright, starring Will Smith, Joel Edgerton, Noomi Rapace, David Ayer, and written by Max Landis, and that's something kind of important to note. This is very much a Max Landis movie from beginning to end. I will admit that from the trailers, I was not too excited about the movie off the get-go. Here in the upcoming week of its release, I did start to get a little bit more excited for the film. All the marketing was starting to get to me at this point. So this morning I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a lazy Saturday. I'm going to watch Bright and we're going to do a review. So let's talk about it. Will Smith is very much Will Smith in the movie. He's a very, charismatic actor. I enjoy Will Smith in the majority of his films. This movie included, I think he did a really good job at playing the character of Ward. Joel Edgerton did a great job, I think, as the orc Jacoby. I love the design of the orcs in general. The makeup is great. I like the way this movie looks and feels. I think the characters feel like they belong in it. I'm actually not a really big fan of urban fantasy style stories, but I think that this movie worked for me on a whole lot of levels. I liked the direction. I liked how hard it was in the sense of just grittiness and language heavy and violent, but at the same time still being able to bring in those little bit of lighthearted moments. I think the jokes for the most part landed pretty well for me. Because the jokes felt like real conversation jokes. They didn't feel forced. They felt more like what you would say to your friend. And I think that worked for me. The only performances that didn't work were kind of the female performances in the film. All the female characters in the movie were very just one note, didn't have a lot to do. The character of Tika, I felt like the character itself, her character was rather boring. She had a lot of kind of mystery surrounding her character, and I wish that maybe the film would have spent more time, kind of exposing that mystery and seeing what was going on with her character, where it more focuses on the relationship between Ward and Jacoby and how they fit into the story, which is great, but they're almost, they really, in the grand scheme of the story, should be more side characters to kind of what is this overarching story that's happening in the background that is, this big, great evil that is arising, I guess you'd say. I think that the female characters are kind of wasted. Noomi Rapace is a really great actress, and I feel like she's not given much to do. She plays the villain in this story, and she's not really in it all that much, and they don't take very much time to develop her character. And they don't take much time to develop any of the female characters, which is a little bit of a letdown because they are shrouded in so much mystery and seem like they could be really cool characters. I just wish I would have gotten a little bit more from them. But those are really my only real issues with the film. Overall, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I thought it was really enjoyable. I'm a big fan of crime stories, so it took itself serious as a crime drama, even though it took place in this fantasy world, and I appreciate that the most, and that is that they were able to actually blend these two things together in a way that I found to be quite enjoyable and really keep me kind of on the edge of my seat throughout the film, wondering what was going to happen next. I didn't feel like it was all that predictable, aside from some moments. There are a couple of little plot hole details that, if you read into it, you can question why did they do this and not that. Wouldn't that have been easier? But I feel like, the movie itself overall takes place in a very stressful environment and decisions are made rather quickly. So I can maybe rule those out as being like, they didn't really bother me too much, but I did have a couple of those moments in the film where I was like, why didn't they just do this? But yeah, getting nitpicky. I don't know. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought David Ayer directed his ass off. I thought the performances were great for the most part. And the buddy cop dynamic between Will Smith's character and Joel Edgerton's character worked really well for me. The movie does play extremely heavy into race and being able to just accept somebody for who they are and not just for the color of their skin, or in this scenario, like their species, because it's a fantasy world. There's orcs, there's elves, there's fairies, there's magic. But it all takes place kind of in our own modern day world. And I think they did a very good job at combining the two and making it feel grounded in this world. Like, if magic existed in this world, this is kind of how they would treat it. And I enjoyed all that. I enjoy the effects. The special effects are great. So overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I think if you're at home looking for something to watch, it's on Netflix and it's right there available to you. Give it a shot. Bright's a lot of fun, especially if you're into maybe like the Hellboy movies or even Underworld before they went to total shit. If you wanted to see like those kinds of fantasy worlds maybe taken a little bit more serious into kind of an R-rated crime drama, this is that. So it's great. I really enjoyed it. I would give Bright, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just give Bright an 8 out of 10. I don't understand the critic response to this film. I think it only has like a 32% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is just outrageous. But then again, it has something, I think when I checked earlier today, it had like a 90% on the audience score. So audiences are really enjoying this movie. Critics not so much. I just don't think that maybe they get it. So that's fine. I guess they don't get it, but I enjoyed the heck out of this movie. Be sure to give it a shot sometime this weekend or over your Christmas vacation. You know, if you've already been to the theaters to see Star Wars and you need something to watch at home, Bright is definitely a perfect choice for you. So, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed the review, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one, and we'll see you guys tomorrow right here on Rad Entertainment.